welcome to Thursdays with Annette. I've got my apron on, I've got my cookbooks, I've got my wok. Yes, we're going into the wok this week. We're making an awesome recipe that you may think is a little bit hard to make, or you just want to eat it when you go out. I'm going to change your mind today, hopefully, because we're making, out of book 3, Chicken Laksa. Oh my gosh, it is such a fabulous recipe and so much lower in fat. At least 1/10 of the fats of a traditional laksa. So it's also in Cooking for 1 or 2. So stay tuned, you might win both books. Alrighty, so what are we going to do here? Now, don't be intimidated by all the ingredients, people, okay? Because what you're going to do is chop up a few things and then we're going to just chuck it all in the wok, okay? So bear with me here. So what we're going to do is we've got carrot, shallots, lemongrass from my garden. Oh my God, it smells so good. Capsicum. You've got 400 grams of skinless chicken breast, garlic, ginger, massaman paste. So this is the one that's going to give it a really good flavour in the jar. I like the AM brand. So that's massaman. You've got some stock powder, turmeric. I've got some of the low salt chicken stock liquid as well. My cooking spray. We've got some bean shoots. Yep. Always never know what to call them. We've got Singapore noodles. Now you get 2 in a pack, so you use actually 1 pack for this recipe. And I've got some evaporated milk, coconut essence and corn flour, and also fresh coriander. Now if you don't like fresh coriander, you could do Thai basil. And if you don't like Thai basil, we'll just leave it out. Okay, so now let's start chopping here. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit Asian-y looking, you know, a bit Thai. So we need 1/2 cup of carrot sticks or strips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut it 4 times the width of this carrot, because I want them to be reasonably thin. And then you're going to cut them into thin strips. Okay, we want 1/2 cup, and thin's the way to go. And it's all goes in the bowl. At the end of it, you're just going to have the whole dinner out of a bowl. Everything's going to be in there, and I reckon you're going to be very impressed with yourself when you make this. So we want, as I said, we want 1/2 cup. Keep them thin. You don't want big chunks. And this is one of those recipes that I keep for when people come for dinner, because I think it's so easy for me, because I can prep all this up and then just cook it before they come, and then just serve it, which is what you want. That way you can be the hostess with the mostest, can't you? All right. Look, I might as well just put that other one in. All right, so there's my carrot. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it all in the bowl here, because they will go all in together. Capsicum, same thing. You want 1/2 cup. And you want thin strips. So I'm going to cut them in half, and then thin. You can do any colour capsicum you like. Green, red, they look really good. I probably wouldn't do yellow, because it's quite a yellow dish to start with. And what I think so fantastic about this recipe, and I was very happy to be able to make you a healthy version, because laksa is not ideal for people that have heart or cholesterol problems. If you're a diabetic, for example, this is not going to be a recipe you should eat when you go out, because it's normally between 40 and 50 grams of fat for a serve. And why, you ask? Well, it's full of coconut cream. They use the chicken thigh, which is quite high in fat as well. And that's just not going to work in my book. Half a cup capsicum. Looking good here. Carrot over there. Now I'm going to do the shallots, and because it's an Asian dish, I'm actually going to cut them on the angle. So let me just show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually do just instead of going straight, I'm going to just go like that. Yeah. Make sure you use some of the green as well, because it's just as good for you, and you don't want to waste it. Once again, cut on the angle. It's all about how you look food looks, isn't it? We want half a cup. And then I'm just going to chop up my lemongrass. So the prep that you've got to do for this is basically chop up your veggies and your chicken. A few herbs as well. So it's not hard. It's just chopping up. There we are. Half a cup. Oh, they don't go in then, Bill? Oh no, they don't either. That's all right. I'm rushing here. That's because I'm putting it all in the bowl. So you normally we want to cook the carrots and the capsicum separate, but that's okay. All right, so now lemongrass. I want a teaspoon. So I'm just going to cut down thinly through the lemongrass stick, and then just very finely chop that as well. Make sure you don't use the woody part of the lemongrass. But it really does give it a beautiful flavour, doesn't it? All right, so there's that. And then I also want a tablespoon of beautiful. Now, if you don't like coriander, then just use something else that you like. I'm only going to roughly chop it. I want a tablespoon. There we go. I'll use them in something else. Fabulous. All right, so now we've just got to do the chicken. So I might just move that all over there and just chop it here. Now we're going to do it in dice. I'm going to turn my wok on, get it started, and you're going to cook the chicken with garlic and the ginger. So I'm going to go down, cut it into strips. The breasts of chicken now are so big, aren't they? I mean, I can remember years ago they used to be like 125 grams for a chicken breast. Now they can be 225. Dice that up. You can change it if you want. You don't have to do chicken. You can do seafood. You can even do tofu. I've done that when we had vegetarians, and it was delicious. And I tell you in the recipe book how to do that. But for chicken, it's 4.2. For seafood, it's 3.2. And for the tofu, it's a little bit higher at 8.1. All right. In goes the chickie. Just put it in slowly because you want to keep that temperature. Oh, I missed a bit. You want to get that sizzle on the chicken. And then I'll put in the garlic. You want half a teaspoon of garlic. Let me move that over there so I can bring that over. You want half a teaspoon of garlic and a teaspoon of ginger. Now you can use fresh, of course you can, but I'm going to be lazy and use the jar. So half a teaspoon of garlic and then a teaspoon of ginger. There we go. Oh, it smells good, that ginger. Okay, let's give that a toss. Now this is enough for 4, but if you make it in the cooking pot of 2, it's for 2. And that's what we like, because that way we're getting an actual serve size that we want. But often we found when we were making in the normal recipe that we'd only get 1 serve left. So we were actually giving ourselves too much. So when I started making cooking pot 2, we noticed we started to lose a little bit of weight because we weren't over-serving ourselves. All right, so now we're going to put in, see if I can take those shallots off. Look, that's the best I'll be able to do. Sorry, Billy. All right, so in goes the carrot sticks and the capsicum. And you just cook them for like a couple of minutes. Now this will freeze for a couple of weeks, but because of the milk in it, it's really just about that long, because what happens when you freeze it longer than that, the milk can actually sort of separate. So that's not always ideal. What we do is if we have some left over, we have it a couple of nights later. I don't mind being repetitious. I think it's great to be able to eat something that I've enjoyed again. All right. Let's put in everything goes in now. But what I like to do, for me, is I like to put the tablespoon and the maximum in and just combine it. So I like to give you little extra tips here on a Thursday with Annette, and I hope you're having a fabulous day wherever you are. Look at that. Oh. Now, the great thing is that you're making something really fabulous, and it's going to make everyone fizzy about it, because when you say, oh, it's only 4.2 grams of fat, yes, people will think you're amazing. All right, so now everything goes in. We're going to put a teaspoon of turmeric, and this is what gives it the beautiful yellow colour that we like in laksa. We're going to put in a teaspoon of stock powder, and I'm using chicken because obviously we've got chicken in there. Makes sense, doesn't it? Let's put in the stock liquid. 1 cup of stock liquid. I'm going to throw in all this now. That was the shallots, the lemongrass and the coriander. Now let's put in our bean shoots. So as you can see, it's really a recipe that you might think is hard. It's not. You're just putting everything in together. And you serve it in, I've got my bowl here, my Asian bowl ready to go. Now let's put in the water. So everything's gone in good. Now we're going to put in the Singapore noodles. Now when you get them, just break them up a little bit if they're a bit clumped up together, and then in that goes. All right, so the last thing we've got to do is I want to wait for this to, I'm going to put the evaporated milk in last. So at this point you're putting everything in, and it's going to be banging with flavour because you've got all this great sort of Asian ingredients in it. You may like to put extra chilli in if you feel like you need it, but make it first how it is in the recipe book, and then decide how you go. Now, the last thing we've got to do is the evaporated milk. Now, the coconut essence, remember you can buy that now on my website because it's really only available in some large IGA stores, and so for the convenience now, I've actually got it on my website for you, so you can grab your helping or whatever you want. Teaspoon coconut essence. Now what that's doing is making this have a coconut cream flavour, because we're going to put in, I'm putting in the extra milk. Remember, the evaporated milk has only got 340 mils in it now. So let's do the evaporated milk, and you want a tablespoon of corn flour. It's a runny sort of a soupy dish. If you've never had it, then maybe you might try it now, hey? Tablespoon corn flour, my little trusty whisk. Oh, caught on the spoon. And that's your dinner done. I mean, are you impressed? I'm a little bit fizzy about this recipe, you can tell. I mean, I was all about easy, quick recipes. And I thought, you know what, even though it has quite a few ingredients, it's an easy recipe. But it's also got the wow factor. This serves 4. Remember, you can make it for 2 if you want. And it's only 4.2 grams of fat per serve. So this is awesome. So all I've got to do now is wait for this to boil. And we have chicken laksa, boom, ready to go. Now, if you want to win, you can, of course. This is what it's all about. Woohoo! You can win either of these books, or actually, no, you can win both. That's right, you can have Cooking Fun 2 and Book 3. And if you go into the draw, you will win them. So, how do you do it? You like, you share, and then in the comments, I mean, come on, how many years have we been doing this, people? That's right, hashtag Simply Too Good with the herb on it. So put that into the comments, and I will pick 3 fabulous people to get personally signed copies of both those books, just because you watched my show. How good is that? What am I making on next week's show? Well, do you want to know what the #1 voted recipe by you people for 2022? Well, that's what I'm making next week. Should I keep it a secret? No, I won't. It's Ripper Rissoles. That's right. Ripper Rissoles, the #1. Can you love it when you do all this gourmet favourite stuff, but the good old basic rissoles? And I'll tell you, my friend named it because these were my taste testers. Vicky and Dirk were very good at taste testing the recipes. And I was doing book 4, and he said, you know what? This is a Ripper Rissole. And I went, oh, what a perfect name for it. And so he's very proud of himself. I think he thinks he actually wrote the recipe, but he just named it. Okay, Dirk. Alrighty, so while I'm waiting for this to boil, can I just also talk to you about the 20th of May? You need to be there. I'm going to be doing a Saturday with Annette. That's right, we're going to be cooking, talking about health and well-being. It's going to be awesome. You'll get to meet the team. Diane will be there, Billy will be there, I'll be there. And it's just going to be a really fun, informative day. And it's going to be very interactive. It's going to be about just getting you feeling the very best you can be. So it's on the 20th of May. Go to simplytoogood.com.au/events. I'll put a link in the comments for you when I'm done here, so you can actually go direct. Alrighty? But you need to come because, I mean, I haven't done one of these live shows in years. All right, so we are looking fabulous here. Time to serve up. I might actually use my ladle. So make sure when you're doing it that everyone gets plenty of everything. Look at this. Lots of the sauce. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, who knew? Whalers could be so deliciously healthy. Yes, chicken laksa, guilt-free, homemade. Who needs takeaway anymore? This is all for you. So don't forget to join me next week when I'm going to be doing the Ripper Rissoles. And take care, and thanks for joining me. Bye now.